It all started when I was watching Entourage. I was 16 years old. I see Vinny Chase with his homies in Paris and Monaco and in Barcelona, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a 16-year-old little kid driving a 1998 Ford Expedition. AC doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I want to live that lifestyle.
For sure.
In Ohio.
Oh, Ohio.
In Ohio.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Austin Lewis here coming to you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm fired up for this one, baby.
Show, man.
Got Mr. Zaback to the right of me, and as you guys know, man, this is going to be one of the best episodes you guys have ever listened to, hands down. I'm calling that out. Really, I'm calling the other 30 guests that we've actually had on this show here. But more importantly, we got the Godfather, the legend, Alex Morton here, ladies and gentlemen. I had some other words here, but we'll keep it PG here. We will get into 13 once I get a little bit more fired up, or get him fired up.
If you guys don't know Alex Morton, you're in for a treat, okay?
You know, this is the most beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that are listening on iTunes, podcast, Stitcher, YouTube,
Spotify,
anything, whatever you guys want, right? You guys are listening to it for sure. If you're not listening onto your mom's TV, your dad's TV, your ex-girlfriend's TV, I'm telling you guys right now, you want to stay tuned for this entire episode, because let me tell you something right now.
This will be a good one.
It'll change your paradigm. It'll
like
change
Bob
your thought
Proctor
process.
Said,
This little mini
and we're going to get Bob Proctor to watch this thing.
Sheesh. Let's get it rocking and rolling. And the intro really is Alex Morton.
Dude, Alex Morton, man.
You don't need an intro. You don't need an intro.
Okay.
If you don't know Alex Morton, you got an issue.
Then Google it.
Google it, baby.
Right?
You know what I mean? Alex Morton, pleasure to have you on the show, brother.
I appreciate it, man. I'm glad we can make this work.
Yes.
Y'all are entertaining. I'm gonna be honest. I've done several dozen podcasts in my career, and so far, this is actually enjoyable.
I like it.
We appreciate that, brother. We like to have fun here.
Yes,
you know,
we do.
We like to have a good time, let loose a little bit, and give the audience a different perspective.
For sure.
On guests,
which is most importantly. You know what I mean?
Which is important. So, Alex Morton, guys, you know, there's no really need for an intro. I've known you since 2012.
Wow.
Long time, pretty crazy, right? And from back in the day, the Vima days. Anybody watching, listening, you know, you ever heard of Vima? YPR, Young People Revolution, right?
Yeah.
You know, had that shit on my license tag.
It's sanitized. It's sanitized, so you can barely read that.
I buy Andrew Bear's Mercedes.
There we go,
back
baby.
in the day, right?
Rocking and rolling.
So, you know, and guys, Alex has just gone on to just dominate the world of network marketing, but ultimately the world of entrepreneurship, business. You know, now literally in Arizona, we're in Scottsdale, as you guys know. He's buying multifamily, you know, just doing all sorts of different stuff, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just a pleasure having you here, brother. So we just want to just dive in real quick. I know you don't got a lot of time, but, you know, just share with the guests just some different things about your journey so far and some different, you know, principles.
Well, it's been a crazy journey for sure, and I'm glad to be back here in Scottsdale. This is like where the first magic happened. You know, the first $1 million was earned right here in Tempe, Arizona. And I mean, everybody listening, I think that the first thing is super important to understand is that anyone listening, no matter what color of your skin, religion, background, you know, mommy, daddy, money, or mommy, daddy's broke, whatever it is, you actually can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish in your life. And that's been like my biggest messaging my entire career, because I truly believe that people can create greatness in their life. Not just money, but health, wealth, love, happiness, growth, abundance, the whole 9 yards. So I was going to Arizona State at 18. I grew up in a small town in Ohio. I wanted to get out. I went to Arizona State, got in trouble at 18. A lot of people know the story, but we'll move quick here.
For sure.
Yep.
And I fell into the, you know, network marketing. And in 2011, I went to 5 events. I said no at all 5 events. And then I met somebody around my age that was making $40,000 a month. Back then, $40,000 a month was like $40 million a month.
Nobody ever heard of that.
For sure.
Right?
And I'm like, dude, $40,000 a month. And I remember the day. He's like, $40,000 a month, never went to college. He's like, he walked in with a Breitling watch on his wrist and a Louis Vuitton backpack. And I was like, dude, is this real?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's real. He's like, I'm going to help you do it. And I'm like, let's go. And I said, let's go in February 8th, 2011. And now it's going to be 10 years.
It's crazy, man.
Next February, 10 years.
Crazy.
It's been a hell of 85 countries around the world.
Insane.
We used to pack home events
Craziness.
right here, Tempe, all over. I remember Alex would walk in, you know, there was way too many people in the living room, okay?
Fire code.
The air conditioning was turned all the way down, right?
Oh, dude.
And Alex is up there throwing down, man. And literally in like, I think it was like 2013, maybe, you know, maybe 2014, but it was like right in there.
Yeah.
And we would pack him out, dude. He would do like 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening.
We were working hard. We were working hard. And see, now people see, you know, Instagram and traveling all over the world and, you know, Rolls Royces and all this kind of stuff. But I'm like, I wish you could have seen those living rooms.
Dude, for sure.
Because I'm like, dude, literally like what you just said, 200 kids in a living room, hotter than hell in Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
sweating bullets, dude. No product, no presentation, just screaming my lungs out.
Yep.
But we woke a lot of people up.
You did.
And it's so interesting because now I meet people like you guys and people all over the world, and they all say, dude, what I did 2011, 2012, 2013 allowed me to grow into the person I am today. And now I'm successful and I have this car and I'm impacting people and life's amazing. So I just feel good knowing that even if people left the industry, I know that I made a difference.
A big one, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so you can hear, so everybody can hear it here, right?
And let's talk about that because I want to dive into that. You know what I'm saying? Because
bit,
you know you were 21. Young, dumb, no money, right? You know what I mean? Very egotistical, little bank account,
not
right?
Too much,
not too much, right? Not too much.
A little bit.
For 21, you probably you're just a little swagger. But you were you know that runs in the blood. I wouldn't say that came from anything but the blood, right?
Yeah.
So what differentiates you from other people that get into an industry like that right now at this time, right? Network marketing was a little untapped. I mean, it was tapped, right? But it was untapped for our
Young
generation,
people,
right?
YPR,
right? So what made you, Alex Morton, different to go out there and create this revolutionary dude, I would call it a war. Because I remember sitting down in the days, dude, I wasn't in Vima at the time, but if you weren't in Vima, bro, you were gonna die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was serious.
It was serious, right?
The blood was orange.
100%. So what made you different, brother?
I mean, this is a question that I've been asked by lots of people around the world, including my own mentor. He's actually like been like, hey, why were you able to do what it is you did? And all these other people really weren't. And before I used to turn to, well, I had great parents. And Bob Proctor, my mentor, he's like, well, lots of people have great parents, but they all didn't make $1 million in 22 months, right?
Sure.
And like, well, I work really hard. He's like, yeah, lots of people work really hard and lots of people are still broke. He says, so what's the difference? And I think it goes to, like you were saying, this whole paradigm thing.
Belief.
Like, I really believe my paradigm shifted to such a great extent. And my belief in myself, I had absolute certainty where I was going to go.
It was already done.
It was already done. And now that's a little hashtag.
But how did you get there? How did you get there, though? Because that's tough, man.
Okay, so,
I mean, no, I'll give you, right?
No, it is tough.
Your
It's
mom's
definitely
driving
tough.
a Toyota. Yep. Your dad's driving a Chevy.
She had an Acura.
Right?
He had an Expedition. Yep.
Yeah, they're telling you to go to college, get good grades, go to school.
But I had parental support, though. I did.
Yeah.
So I got into, usually we don't say the word, but, I got into Vima. My dad's like, well, you're going to learn a lot of business skills, build some good relationships. And he said, you never know. So I got in it. It took me 6 months to get to $400 a month residual.
Which is insane, bro.
6 months.
Still trying to figure out how to do that.
$400 a month. Month 13, I hit 6 figures, right? And then I'm like, I'm going to take this thing all the way up. So I think it has to do with the programming, the subconscious programming as a little kid. Because I remember my grandma lived with us for her last 10 years of life in Ohio. And I remember every day after school, I would go home. And my mom would say, go sit on the couch and talk to grandma. So I'd go sit on this little white couch, talk to grandma. And every day, she would plant these seeds in my mind. Do you know what your name means in Armenian? I'm Armenian. It means helper of man. She said, I've been on this earth for 85 years. I know what I know, and I know that you're destined to do something way bigger than you could even imagine.
For sure.
And I just had this this subconscious programming to go out there and make something big. With my life. And then if you want to go super deep, like both sides of my family, are technically survivors. We had the Holocaust over here and we had the Armenian genocide over here. So when I'm 5 years old, my little sister's, 1, our whole entire lives, my mom would program, your ancestors went through war and murder and rape and famine for you to even have a shot to be here. So you better get your ass in motion and do something, make it happen. You know,
I like that a lot. Yeah. There's something to you, both you guys' points. Because I was in those rooms. Just remember, like I was there, man. Tempe, Scottsdale,
I remember Sean.
the condos,
you and Sean,
Kilkenny. Cody Barton. I still talk to Cody. Sean lives here, actually. I still talk to Cody Barton to this day. I talk to all those guys.
Great guy.
And look, at the end of the day, man, like you walked into those rooms, and there was a different energy, right? It was like, look, man. There was no introduction that you made. That's him right there, right? Right when you walked in the door, everybody knew it. And there was something to be said about that, right? There's something to be said about that belief.
Yep.
And you see a lot of people to this very day in all different industries, right?
Sure.
That like you said, they work hard, they do the right things, they do all this stuff. But and on the outer, circle of their life, it'll look like they believe, but internally they don't believe
Yeah.
Right? They don't have that internal, like, because you walked into that room, man, and I remember like it was, you didn't have to have,
nobody
you're
actually
actually
bringing back emotional memories.
There was no
nobody
speech.
can
It wasn't
convince you
pre-planned.
otherwise.
Look, they would be trying to figure out how the TV never worked. Okay, we could never figure out how to get the TV to turn on.
It didn't matter.
And you go up there, no microphone, right? And you would just throw down. You'd throw down, right? And you would, the whole room would line up in a line. We would crash the internet, trying to sign up for the product, right?
They didn't have commercial grade,
Now
unfortunately.
look, that takes belief, man. It takes belief. Where in the heck?
Absolute certainty, belief.
Absolute certainty, right? And you still
and
have
it
it.
started when I was a little kid. It started when I was a little kid. I always knew I was different, and I always said to myself, I said, one day when I find that, whatever that is, and I truly believe that this can take me to where I want to go. It all started when I was watching Entourage. I was 16 years old. I see Vinny Chase with his homies in Paris and Monaco and in Barcelona, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a 16-year-old little kid driving a 1998 Ford Expedition. AC doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I want to live that
Scottsdale.
lifestyle.
For sure.
In Ohio.
Oh, Ohio.
In
Ohio.
Ohio.
Okay,
yeah.
Right?
Okay. It's human.
Dude, I was like, I'm going to do it somehow.
Yep.
I always knew it, right? And the absolute
I like that. I
certainty
like that.
came from a young age, and we just kept on
Do
going.
you think that people had to get to that belief level, right? That the level of energy that you have, right? And all the time, by the way, for a decade, I've never seen you have low energy. I don't know.
appreciate it.
Most
you know what I mean?
consistent-
And listen, drug-free.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yep.
Yes.
Do you think
That's powerful.
And like total honesty, right?
Mm-hmm.
People ask me this every now and then. Like, do you have to have that level? I believe there's multiple levels of entrepreneurs, but to be that level of entrepreneur, that level of energy, do you have to be born with it, or can you
develop it.
Can you develop it?
Because we've helped people develop it.
Have
But
you?
I think it's like you got to go savage mode at some point.
For sure,
At some
for
point,
sure.
like if you look at your bank account, you look at your life, you look at mom and dad, their opinions of you. And I remember sitting there like, 22, sophomore or junior in college, man, my GPA was lower. The business school, WP Carey right here, told me no. They're like, you can't come here.
Wow.
So go pick something else.
Crazy.
I'm in communications. I'm looking up jobs after college with my little bachelor's of communications. It's like starting salary, $36,000. Starting salary, $38,000. If you work, there's like a little program they gave me. I remember this.
Yeah.
5 to 10 years down the road, maybe $72,000 a year. And I'm thinking like, bro, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go jump off a fucking bridge.
Yeah,
Right,
for
And
sure.
it wasn't just about money.
Yeah.
It was about like my whole pride and self-worth. Like I have so much pride in myself, in my family, that there was no other option. So to get that belief you're talking about, I tell people you have to put your back against the wall. Because when your back's against the wall and you're like locked in this little thing, all you can go is forward.
For
That's
sure.
it.
So I purposely put myself in these situations throughout my career to where nothing else matters.
And how'd
except
you do
getting
that?
to that goal.
Do you believe
How'd
there's
you do
and that, and also in a side note to that, is there some psychotic to be iconic type of deal? I mean, like,
I believe you got to be a little crazy for sure. I mean,
For sure.
Grant Cardone's a good
Yeah.
friend, right?
Well, I mean,
He's
fuck,
a
look at
mentor.
you.
He's a fucking nut.
yeah, for sure. Well,
our CEO is a lunatic,
for
dude.
sure.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
I have a book on my desk right now about like the hypomanic edge, like hypomania, right? Like mania is like you're crazy, you're in a mental health institution. Hypomania is a mild form of mania
And you can
where
kinda control it.
and you can kind of, but like when you
Okay.
look back over time, it's actually a really good book. The Albert Einsteins, a lot of these great guys were slight. They actually diagnosed them with hypomania, like they were on that fine line of like being almost crazy, right? In order to get to that point where you push yourself.
People have called me. I mean, people have thought I've been addicted to cocaine my whole career. I've never done it in my life. Like
For sure.
on everything. You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
are like, "There's no way this kid is." Look at my old Facebook videos. It looks like I'm on drugs, but I'm just it's
Too
belief
fired up.
and
Yeah,
it's
for
energy.
sure.
It's some energy drinks here and there, but
sure.
Yeah.
you got to get to that point, man. You got to be a little psychotic. It depends how big you want to play.
Yeah.
Like to like my next book, I'm working on is 30 million at 30. So to make $30 million at 30, you think you're going to be normal?
No,
you think
not
you're going
at
to have
all.
a balanced life and go take picnics with your little girlfriend and walk the dog at 22 years old when you're broke? It's not going to fucking work.
Ain't gonna
Yeah.
happen.
For
You can do
sure.
that shit now I'm 30.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm
yeah, yeah.
engaged and I got money and it's all good.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I tell these younger guys,
But you spend
I'm
a
like, bro, you
decade.
can't. Yeah, a decade.
A decade.
All in for a decade. Mother's Day from Lagos,
All-
Nigeria, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, go get his all in. Get this guy's on an airplane day after day after day on a prop plane. He goes from a jet airplane to a prop plane. He's
Yeah.
like, man, I knew one of these were going to be in my deal, right?
Yeah.
You looked right at these guys right here and you said,
Bro, we've
one
been
of these
on them,
planes,
bro.
right?
Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Fucking, bro. In, a different city. It was in Paraguay. No joke. They pushed a plane out of a barn And this guy, the pilot comes out with his
it.
shirt off, drinking tequila. He's like, all right, let's go.
I believe that. I believe
Bags up, baby. Put them in there yourself, bitch.
Yeah, I believe. But hey, that's the work
funny.
ethic, man, for a decade.
I'm curious, Alex. What's your mindset through that? Right, Alex Morton mindset on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys haven't already followed this guy, you guys gotta follow this guy.
Okay.
But what's your mindset through that? Right, I just heard what you said. Your newly fiance, right? Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Incredible. You know what I mean? But more and so inspiring, right? To see where you've come to where you're at now, which is incredible, right? But what's your mindset, right? 22 years old, broke, busting and disgusted, 22 years old, walking the dog. It's not going to fucking happen. You just said that, right? But now, right, 30, 22 to 30, we're talking about 8 years. You got some money in the bank. Now you wouldn't mind walking the dog, hanging out with the fiance.
Yeah, we're still, I mean, what's that
shift? Okay.
It's just a different type of hustle because now in our organization, bro, we've got what, 400 people making six figures.
Wow.
Okay.
So Alex Morton doesn't have to be Alex Morton 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Because we've developed
To put in
leaders
perspective,
on
how many
leaders on leaders.
How many people in the previous company were making six figures?
In our group, we had about 25.
And now you got 400.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Like 400.
And there was a revolution at 25.
that?
So, you know.
Yeah, it's different.
It's different.
It's a different model. I mean, financial education versus these products that anybody can rip. It's just a different game now.
Got it.
Yeah,
But the
for
point is,
sure.
like what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, I tell like if you're young and you're not where you want to be financially, you don't have the time and effort to put into a relation. If you want it to be a good relationship, you have to put time and energy and nurture it like a business, like anything else, man.
Yeah.
And like when I was on the freaking one track mind, I mean, I couldn't even, as bad as it sounds, like there were times I wouldn't talk to my mom and dad for like a week or two because I wouldn't pick up the phone because it was literally 3-way call after Zoom. Back then it was Uvu to the event, to the training, to the event, to the airport. But that was okay because when I talked to my parents, they understood. My dad was like, I understand what you're doing. Just keep going. Keep doing it. Like even, I remember 1 week, back then it was like, it's still a big number, but I made $44K in a week.
Yeah.
And I remember when I hit it, I was sitting in the second living room of my parents' house in Vegas, and I came into the big living room with my dad, and my dad made 44 grand this week. He said, that's great. And then right after he said, that's great, you know what he said? He said, keep going and act like you're still at zero.
Yeah.
Because some people get comfortable. And, you know, Ed Milet, who's a great mentor, right?
Good to him.
He talks about blissful dissatisfaction, right? Like, I'm grateful where I am today. I'm happy where I am today, but you're still dissatisfied. Bob Proctor, the mentor of mentors and mentors, said, being uncontent is the most creative state a human being can be in.
Wow.
Look at Warren Buffett. Look at Elon Musk. Look at, you know, whatever. I don't want to say Trump, but, you know, Trump or Obama. It doesn't matter. The point is these highly successful people.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like, listen, if I retired tomorrow, okay, we wake up on the beach and drink margaritas for what, 6 months, and then what?
sure.
Look at each other. And
You're bored. You're bored out of your mind.
Like,
you're bored out of your mind.
Because like Tony Robbins says it, right? Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Why did Kate Spade kill herself? Why did Robin Williams kill himself? They had $40 million in the bank. It's not about money.
Yeah.
People
about money.
with just money are miserable.
Yeah.
Sure.
One of my biggest fears was to be, you know, 42 with $50 million in the bank, you know, single, alone, and be like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
For sure.
I want to shift gears real quick because I know you don't got a lot of time, Alex. Dude, I've seen one thing I've noticed over the years, and a lot of people watching, listening, including myself. I've followed you since the day I met you. You've gotten very good at another thing that I think would be very, very beneficial to everybody watching, including us.
Okay.
And that is, you know, people have ridiculed you for 10 years. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You framed a Rolling Stone article in your parents' house in the hallway. It's still hanging up. Okay.
Yep.
The Rolling Stone article. I've read it. It's a long article, ladies and gentlemen. It's still up. You could still Google that article.
Great article.
And look, at the end of the day, man, and I've seen it over the last 10 years, especially in that industry, but in any industry, in any area of life, you end up, in order to become a legend, to become successful, really at any capacity, right? You end up getting ridiculed. You end up getting people talk badly of your friends, family, you know, whatever.
Yep.
And you've done a very good job, right? At least from the outside looking in, at just keeping your blinders on and doing what it is that you do best. How have you been able to do that?
Well, my dad taught me the term tunnel vision at a young age. And he said, if you study Kobe Bryant, you study Michael Jordan, you study Muhammad Ali, you study Floyd Mayweather, you study Drake, you study Diddy, you study any of these guys, Kim Kardashian, whoever's successful, right?
Yeah.
It's this whole idea of, it's like a horse, right?
Yeah.
Left and right, I can't see left, I can't see right, all I can see is forward. So I learned, and some of the stuff was hurtful.
Sure.
I was on a show earlier this morning and I was talking about how I remember being in my parents' house after I left Vima, pre-launching the next company, and some anonymous, tweet came through and it hit me on the cell phone, and it was like, I hope you and your family die in a car crash. And I'm like, dude, how, if that's not fucked up, I don't know what
for
it is,
sure.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's yeah.
But I use all of that negativity, even to this day. I mean, I'll be real, the last 3 years, there hasn't really been any haters, because at this point, they're kind of like, okay, dude, he's been doing it for 10 years.
Sure.
It's like, we're not going to really say anything anymore. But back then,
Took a long time.
it was just, I used it, I channeled it, dude, into freaking energy. And when I launched this third company, my mentality, it is what it is. My mentality was, I'm going to shove success so far down all of their throats, they're going to choke on it and die.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like that today, but I think some people, you need to develop that type of mentality. Because if not, dude, the world, here's the thing, man, the world doesn't care. People have their sob story. Oh, I grew up in a single mom or a single dad, or I grew up with this, and da-da-da-da. But the world, Gary Vee talks about all the time, dude, the world doesn't care about anything, bro. Yeah. What matters is production and results. And that's harsh. Oh, that's aggressive. Okay, well, you talking about 1%? And you can get in the top 10%. You go make $400,000 a year. That's for sure. That's great, easy, bro. But if you're trying to do 1%, you got to think and operate differently.
For sure. I love that, man. It's incredible. Man. It's really, really, really powerful for people. You know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
For anybody, man. These are things that people struggle with, right? People struggle with getting the energy. Listen. People struggle getting to put on the tunnel vision, man, and block out the haters and do what it is that they need to do, right? For a decade.
Yeah.
So many people in today's day and age. I got one more for you, Alex, and we, whenever you need to go. But
you got 4:20.
We're
the
good.
clock's right there.
Good. Okay, cool.
4:07.
We got a little bit of time.
Minutes. We good.
Okay.
So many people nowadays. This is a little bit of a different. I feel like it's a little bit of a different era. I like that, man. I like that. People nowadays, man, they're getting an Amazon FBA, Shopify, freaking insurance sales, real estate. And nobody's doing it like you did it, and like a lot of people did it in 2012, 13 through 2020, right? Like people get in for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and then they bounce. They what I like to call shiny toilet syndrome, right? Amazon FBA didn't work. I'm gonna do Shopify. Oh, that didn't work. Yeah. I'm gonna go do
Grass
that.
is greener on
I see
the other
people that
side.
are like, they have a real estate license, an insurance license, and they got an Amazon store. It's like, if they just want to get one of them to work, right? And it's like, what would you say to people like that? You look at a guy like you did one industry for a decade, bro, before you did anything else.
And now I can diversify,
right?
Because of that.
And now you can spread your wings and fly and go to the 10 figure, that whatever that figure is, right? And it's like, what's that advice for people that are like, I feel like entrepreneurs are a little different nowadays. They're too all over the place. Like,
for sure.
would your advice be like, hey, like one thing? You see that book, right? It's like the one thing.
Yeah. It's the whole quote, a jack of all trades is a master of none.
100%.
And I remember after Vima, 95% of all the 6-figure, 7-figure people were like, hey man, let's do insurance, and let's do Shopify, and let's go do door to door, and let's learn how to trade, and let's do real estate and all this kind of stuff. And I remember sitting there. I remember actually sitting in a room with some of these guys. It might have been in California, and I was like, I'm just gonna stick with what I know. And go from good. There's a book, Gary Keller, I think, wrote it, Good to Great, or somebody wrote it, Good to Great. Like, I'd rather go from good to great than become, I'm doing a bunch of different little things. It's like, do you want 10 things to pay you 10 grand a month? That's $100,000 a month. Or do you want one thing to pay you $1 million a month?
For sure.
Like, to me, again, I don't just study people in network marketing. I love studying people like Kevin Hart, The Rock, Diddy, Mark Cuban, M. Milet, different people in different industries. And they all got great at one thing.
Yeah.
Like Kobe wasn't out there practicing soccer.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo's not over there learning how to swim like Michael Phelps.
For sure.
Well, I'm interested in lots of things, Alex. You can be interested in lots of things once you have a cash flow that's going to help provide for you and your family, man. Like, how are you going to take care of, wife and kids and stuff when you're just making a little bit of money in one little thing, or you're making a little bit of money in a bunch of little things? I say get great at one thing. Some people, they need $10,000 a month, $50,000 a month. Some of the people that we coach in our company, I say when you get to $50K a month and you want to learn something over here, go ahead and go learn it. But until then, get to $50,000 a month, because it's going to take you a long time to master this right here.
Yeah.
Like, even me, I know I go into life insurance and fucking, break every record in the world because it's similar to this, but I'm not going to go over there and try to learn different things, get licensed, all that kind of stuff, or go into real estate. I used to do real estate, right? But I could go into real estate and go do that whole thing as an agent or have a brokerage and stuff, but this is what I know.
Yeah.
So if I'm already good at this, and this is like 2015, I'm like, bro, by 2020, I'm going to be great at it.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Let's talk about philosophies really quick.
Phenomenal.
We'll transition just a little bit since we're here. A lot of guests that we've had on the show, man, they've shared, like, everybody's got their different show for different folks, right? Obviously, different things work for different people. We know that. We've had people on this show that were 18 years old. We've had people on this show that are 88 years old. So it's kind of cool to see the different perspectives, right? And I'm curious because, again, the last couple of shows have been a little bit older generation.
Okay.
You're 30, tall, skinny, and handsome, ladies and gentlemen. So if you guys are listening on iTunes, podcast, or Stitcher, you guys got to go check out YouTube.
I got handsome before. What about tall?
I like that.
But let's talk about philosophies, right? Jim Rohn's good mentor of yours, and Bob Proctor, a good mentor, right? And all these older generation, right? This came from Earl Nightingale, and it's passed down. We've talked about how relative, right? Austin and I talk about this all the time, bro, right? Like the five love languages, right? How relative is that really in today's 2020s world, right? So I'm curious on your opinion on the philosophies, right? Now, again, we've all taken them and we've mastered them in our own ways, and then we've pushed them out to the universe and the world, right? But what are your thoughts on the philosophies of those times?
The old school stuff.
stuff.
I mean, honestly, everything Bob taught in 50, 60, 70, 80, I still think it all holds true today because the universal laws are the universal laws.
Sure.
Like the law of gravity, you drop something, it's going to hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the law of attraction is real. Manifesting your goals, dreams, and desires is real. The law of action now, right, is real. But yeah, I mean, I think most of this stuff still holds true. Like whatever you think about comes about.
Yeah.
All these little quotes and stuff, it still holds true. But now we got social media, we got Instagram, we got podcasting in 95 countries all at the same time around the world. It's crazy
100%.
shit technology wise. But
it's wild.
the philosophies on goals, like one of my favorite things is, if you're gonna think big. And it sounds so simple, but I'm like, if you're gonna, here's the thing, if I'm gonna give the effort to think, it's going to be the same effort to think small or think big. I'm not going to sweat anymore if I think big, right?
Yeah,
sure.
So I just think always I don't want to use 10x, but just 10x everything. Or, just max out, magnify everything, accelerate everything, evolve everything. So I still study Think and Grow Rich. I still study the magic of thinking big. I listen to all these old school audio tapes from Napoleon Hill and Earl Nightingale and all that kind of stuff. It still holds true. It's just a different landscape. It's just a different world right now.
Yeah.
But success is going to be success. I mean, you go back and you listen to some of these tapes, even from like Dexter Yeager, who made like $1 billion from Amway. Dude, he's still like it's not what works, it's what duplicates. He said that in like the 20s or the 30s, and it's 2020. You know what I mean? And we're on stage. It's not what works, it's what duplicates. So I think the principles and the information are always going to be the principles and information. Obviously, you can add in technology and you can add in these different landscapes and environments, but it's still going to be the principles of the principles.
That's phenomenal,
that's what
man.
I think.
Yeah, no,
people can add on to that.
Yeah,
sure.
You could extrapolate the ideas, but the foundational, the burning desire, the mastermind, right? All of these things, that's never going to change.
Yeah. Your mind thinks in
100%.
pictures, right? Like the whole nine, dude. Like, and those are really the concepts of life and the principles to become successful, right? I mean, you look at people and we talk to our team all the time, and it's like, I was telling them in the car today, I'm like, I sound like a broken record with my team, but that's the idea of it, right? Because they're like, how do I sell more reels? How do I this? How do I that? I'm like, you got to believe it, right? Like there's all, and it's like the most simple shit in the world is how you're going to sell more real estate.
That's how you do it.
You don't got to be the best closer in the world. You got to build rapport, and you got to believe that you can do the deal, right? And then you'll close the deal. You don't got to be Jordan Belfort.
Whoever's more certain is going to win.
For sure.
100%.
For sure. A million
Let's talk about relationships really quick, because I'm trying to figure my shit out, brother, and you got to figure it out. All right.
Bro, it's so okay, so we're eating, my fiance made breakfast today, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you know what's so funny?
What'd you eat?
She made an avocado toast with some eggs on it. Really good. She's a great chef.
Phenomenal
chef, by the way.
Well done.
Phenomenal chef. Phenomenal at everything, but she's a really good cook. But here's the thing. And I'm like, you know what's so funny, dude? The last 5 interviews I've been on, these guys are asking me about relationships.
For sure.
Like all of a sudden it's Alex Morton, the fucking
relationship
girlfriend, fiance catcher or something. It's crazy. But what's your question? I can probably help you here. Actually, I have a great form. Let me hear it though.
Well, no, I'm just curious. Like, you're, young, balling, and handsome and good looking and so much life to live, brother. So many more goals than what it is that you're currently doing right now. How do you just attach yourself to somebody, give the energy that it is that person needs, right? Rather than walking the dog and being all right with that and going through that.
We don't even have a dog.
Sure, but even still, right? Like how's that one and you just knew it, right? Your Instagram caption, bro. You know what I mean?
I know you read it, right?
Of course. Your story. And not just one person, not just I read it. I think everybody that followed him on Instagram,
people that didn't follow,
probably sent it to 5 people.
Page.
Right? Like this is Alex fucking Morton, ladies and gentlemen, and that caption inspired a whole hell of a lot of people. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
So how people are getting engaged now. I see.
Sure. For sure, bro. For sure.
People I don't even know. Like, hey man, I decided to pop the question. I'm like, sweet dude.
But you went a decade. You went a decade though single, right? And so like, what was it that like? What was it that changed?
You knew.
Like, because you knew.
I mean, the first statement I ever made to her in the London nightclub was, I mean, this is like not a joke. Like, it sounds good. Oh yeah,
she'll tell us if it's a joke.
Yeah. She's here, by the way, guys. If you're watching,
it was I'm gonna marry you.
Yeah.
And then she blew me off, and then it was this whole elongated process.
For sure.
To answer your question, I mean, you got to be in alignment.
Okay.
She knows she knows she's with somebody that has like really big goals and dreams. She has big goals. She's very successful in her own endeavors. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
which is cool.
We're in alignment with where we want to be. We're in alignment with how we want our house to be. We're in alignment with we want to have a nice life. Like money's not the make or break thing.
Sure.
But we're both in alignment that we want to make sure we can send our kids to the best schools. We want to make sure we can have whatever cars we want. We want a car every day of the week, then we want to do that. We want to buy this, we want to buy that. It just doesn't matter. So I think when you, like you said, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you know, and you got to be with somebody that is going to support you every step of the way. And then I support her every step of the way with all the stuff that she wants to do and the brand she wants to create and all that kind of stuff. So
is it 50-50 on that, on the support level? Or does she give you 70-30?
We support each other.
Yeah. I like it.
I mean, I'm all in, she's all in. I don't believe in the 50-50 crap.
No,
I just believe in
100-100. Yeah, I like that.
That's good.
It seems to me.
And here's a tip. Here's a tip. And this is going to piss
crush that one.
This is going to piss some people off watching this.
Okay.
Get a girl that's not from America.
Okay.
I like that.
Smarter.
Tell me why.
Smarter.
Okay.
Raised different. Better morals. Better principles. More honest to God, I've been in 85 countries. More skill sets.
Wow.
Yeah. Sharper at a young age. Raised really well.
Somebody else told me that recently too.
Yeah. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, for real. And I've actually talked about that with some people, and they're like, dude, yeah. It makes sense.
How many languages? 8 languages.
8 languages.
My parents said marry someone
I'm still trying to learn
someone
Spanish.
smarter than you do. She's way smarter than me.
Yeah,
Crazy.
of course.
She watches the bullshit. She's like, she has a really good bullshit radar. Because
Yeah.
I'm over here like bro, I hug everybody. I love everybody. I trust everybody. You want my
She's like,
credit
no,
card?
not
You
him.
want my bank account?
Yeah.
I'll take care of your family. I'm just a nice fucking dude.
Yeah.
And then she comes in. She's like, hey, if you act like that, you're gonna get killed one day.
Yeah,
for sure.
So
I like that.
It's really good.
It seems to me like from an outsider's perspective, right? That you really had your shit dialed in over the last 10 years, and she has her shit dialed in, and that is also kind of what allowed you guys to kind of meet at this time where it just
Divine
worked, right? Because a
timing.
lot of people, that are 21, 22, 23, they don't have their own shit dialed in.
Right.
And so like they don't even
if you can't take care of yourself, how are you gonna ever
right
help?
But what would you be your advice? I mean, like you got somebody that's in a relationship right now. Maybe they're 2 years into a relationship, and they know full well that they can't even take care of themselves. It's like, that's a tough thing to wrap your brain around, but you just almost got to like take a break or move on or do something because you got to.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell people to go break up with their girlfriend or their boyfriend.
Sure.
You got to make sure, like for me, like listen, man, for me, like I remember the day I was dating this girl in college, and I remember a night I came home later and I had the compensation plan on the wall, the VEMA comp plan. It's a true story. I don't care. She can listen. I don't give a shit. And she's like, yeah, you're late. You really think this is gonna this is your career? Like you're in college, your parents paid money to be in college, and you're gonna do this. Like this is what uneducated people do. This is what da. And she was like, it's either me or the business. And I said, are you sure about that? She said, yeah. I said, all right. I just walked out the door because it didn't matter who it was. Like I did not care. It could have been my own. If they had my own last name at that point in my life, when my bank account had nothing in it, it wasn't even, the money was important, but it was more about like building myself.
For sure.
Like I wanted to be respected. I wanted people to say, man, because of this guy, my life's better. Like I got inspired by my parents. I went to their insurance conventions, and I remember these people coming up to me. I'm 11, 12, 13, and they're like, by the way, your mom, Sandy, and your dad, Mark Morton, because of them, we send our kids to private schools. Because of them, we just bought a brand new, Ford or whatever it was. So I'm like, damn, I want to help people. I want to do good. And I always had this fear, and I don't really talk about this a lot, but this is like,
You're going to talk about it here, baby.
You know, I always had this thing like not living up to, not exactly their expectations, more so my mom. But I just wanted to like really know, like I wanted to really make them proud. And it wasn't just through money, but with success comes money.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was willing to do whatever it took, man. Like I just did it. Nothing else. There was a point where nothing else mattered. Guy, girl, friend. It just, bro. When I look back and I see some friends now, and they're like, man, for those 4 years, bro, like you just put us on the back burner. You weren't a homie to us. And I was like, listen, I love you guys to death, but like, bro, when I was on the grind, and I'm still on the grind.
For sure.
Like, now,
when did that transition, brother? Because again, you know, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys aren't sitting next to this guy, which you guys probably aren't, but if you guys ever do get the chance to sit next to this guy, absolutely incredible. And you can feel, right? I can feel right now, not just even so much more the energy, but the selfishness is not what people think it is. It's so selfless.
Yeah, it's selfish to be selfless.
So you transitioned massively, right? So how did you know that you needed to get yours?
Honestly, I set a goal to hit X a month. It was a very lofty goal. I set in 2014. I saw a guy in a red jacket.
Yeah.
Let's talk about making X a month.
Mr. Bugs.
At GoPro, and I wrote it down. And
God
then
dang,
when I hit it,
yeah.
And now it's like, you know, obviously way more than that. But the point is like, I got to a point where like financially, I was like, okay, now I'm going to like, maybe I should give more I should give more time to some of my friends, like my day one friends, right? Like the guys that have my back from Ohio, some from Arizona.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to try to be a better friend. Because I know for the last 4 or 5 years, like, bro, I just nothing else mattered.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Yeah. They thought you were selfish.
And I'm still, and when you get older, and you get older, you realize like, you know, like I'm going to turn 31 in October. Like, I don't know where we're going to go. Maybe
when's your birthday?
October 21st.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are listening, October 21st?
21st.
October 21st, man. Make sure and send Alex Martin.
Send him a card.
Send him a card.
But like, you know, it's like your birthday. It's your birthday, and it's like, you know, it's like let's rent a jet, let's go fly somewhere. You want to make sure people on the plane are like, you know, real like real family,
real,
you know, not just acquaintances or business partners, but like people that really have your back. So I think as you get more financially adequate, like I got the watch I always wanted, I got the car, all this stuff. You get to a point where you're like, I'm going to continue to grind. Like I want to keep doing great things, but now it's more so off of purpose and helping people rather than like a check. Like one of my biggest dreams is to have a seminar one day with 30,000 people and the admission ticket is $0.
Yeah.
Like I actually want to spend money to bring unfortunate kids to
That's
the
so cool.
event. Stuff like that. So I think but you can't get there until you got, everyone's got a different number, but I needed to see, you know, lots of millions of dollars.
The other thing too, by the way, is like during that 4-year time period where you were like laser focused, you know, whatever, you helped a lot of people, right? Because in your industry, or really in most industries, in order to make money, you got to help other people make money, right?
For sure.
So it wasn't like you're like, hey, like, you know, a lot of people got to achieve their goals and their dreams while you were being like, you know, so you were being totally selfless all at the same time,
incredible.
right? Like, you know, it was unbelievable, right?
So many, I mean, in our new company, there's people that, dude, just to let you know, like you said yes in 2016. Because of that yes, it let me get in this thing. Because of you, not because of you, but because of the decision you made, it was a ripple effect. Dude, we finally get to have kids. I can't tell you, there's probably 3 or 4 people that I'm close to that literally were not trying to get pregnant because they didn't have the money to get pregnant.
Yeah, for sure.
Afford it.
And now because of this opportunity, they're going on their second kid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
That's
like
so
when
crazy.
you hear that, it's like, man, all that hard work, it did make a difference. Because like one day, like when we have kids, like to me, it's important that, you know, my kids meet people and they're like, man, you know, what your daddy did, you know, in 2017, like that's why we get to live this great life.
In 2012, bro, I was trying to say it a little while ago, but like to your point, what you said, how people come up to you and the like YPR thing change their life. Like when I do not nearly as much as you, but when I do podcasts and stuff, like people are like, what happened in your life? And I was like, well, I was 16 years old. I got in this company called Vima. And that's what happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until this day, a week ago, right? A week ago, I'm like, look, I got into this company, and I was like, I didn't make a lot of money. I made a little bit of money, but I didn't make a lot of money. But I learned that my paradigm. I was like, I met cool people. I got to go backstage. You know, I was hanging out with these guys. There was Rolls Royce, you know, blah blah blah. And I was like, from that day moving forward, and fast forward today, we started 12 companies.
There you go.
You know, 4 or 5 of them have made, you know, a lot of freaking money. 7 of them have failed. Yep. You know, and here we are, dude. Like because of that, right? Like,
it was a shift. You saw what was possible.
But the point of it is like, you know, look at, like, you know what I mean? Like, had you not said yes to getting into that company, I don't know that I would be here, right? Like kind of crazy to think about.
That's why I tell people, man, one decision, you have no idea who you're actually making decisions for, because one yes, one no. What if I didn't go to that home office meeting in Scottsdale 10 years ago, right?
You didn't reply to the Facebook message or whatever.
I'd be doing okay. I'd probably be a real estate agent in Scottsdale, doing well.
Yeah.
Maybe making
selling me a house.
$1 million or $2 million a year.
For sure.
Everything would be cool, but it wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be that. Yeah.
Thought
Wouldn't be
motion
the
continues motion,
global
less
global
than
impact,
25
man. The global impact.
That's what it's
incredible,
about,
brother.
That's what it's all about, bro.
Yeah, I love it.
Well,
what time do you wake up in the morning? I'm just curious, brother.
It's all different. We've been out here for a couple of days now, so like the East Coast, West Coast thing.
Yeah, it's different.
It all depends.
Okay.
During this whole quarantine thing, I mean, we be going to sleep at like later, so I've been waking up later.
Yeah, for sure. I love
But
that, dude. You read?
I like getting up and doing cardio.
Okay.
It feels good, sweat.
Yeah. You reading right now? Anything? Listening to anything?
I listen a lot more than I read.
For sure.
Like
I
audio
can't read
It's
nothing.
just the truth.
No, I can't read nothing. Dude, I got.
Yeah.
We won't even jump into.
What do you
it.
listen to?
I mean, I'm a really big believer in Grant Cardone's attitude and mindset.
Yeah.
Because it's like a little bit overly aggressive, but I believe that's what you have to tap into to become massively successful.
I believe in
sure.
And then just Bob Proctor, man. I mean, that's the two ways to change your paradigm. Number one is repetition of information. So every day, talking about the higher faculties, talking about how to use your imagination, change your perception on things. Because when this is right, everything goes right. When this is wrong, dude, you're screwed. You can be the most talented person in the world.
For sure.
Yeah, every degree in the world. You could speak 50 different languages. You could be the prettiest or the best looking dude in the world. If your mind's screwed up, dude, good luck.
Good luck.
You're dead.
Dude, unbelievable, man.
What's next for you, bro?
Yep.
Well, we're working on this book.
Okay.
So that's going to be cool.
Next
for
level.
Q1 2021.
I got your first book for Christmas, my mom. Shout out to you, Mom.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mom, man. Thank you for
I was
that.
stoked.
Three-
But dude,
three
I'm telling you right
penny
now,
commission
my mom, no joke, she thought I was straight up gay.
Yep.
Because she'd walk downstairs and I'd be listening to you as I was falling asleep. Now my parents are, straight as an arrow, right? Go to school, get a degree, get a good job, work for benefits, that whole thing. So when I was listening to another dude put me to sleep, it was fucking weird, dog. So imagine that conversation with Mom. But yeah, I got your first book. I forgot what it was. The first million or something like that.
Dorm
Room to Millionaire. Yeah, there it was. Yeah.
You pretty excited about the next book? Gonna be big?
Yeah, I mean, it's really like diving super deep. And it's not network marketing. It's anything.
Yeah, life,
it's just
principles,
like, bro,
success.
it's just
Game over.
These last decades been a lot of learning experiences.
So the book, you have 30,000 people, charge them $0, change kids' life. People that don't have money, whatever, right?
Yeah, we're starting. We're gonna have our first Dream Big Gala once COVID's done, 2021. My goal is to give away $1 million to charities, foundations, schools, underprivileged kids, maybe some human trafficking stuff.
Yeah.
Do a big like red carpet event. You guys can come to that. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Just keep making a difference, man. Keep pushing it forward. Because now it's like I feel like I got so many people that watch my every move, and I want to continue to inspire people to like just keep going, man. Like I mean, I'm 30, dude. Grant's 62. Like he tells me all the time. He's like, bro, if you keep
That's
going,
so crazy, bro.
he's like, dude, where are you gonna be at 50?
I think Grant was your age. I think he was even maybe a year older when he bought his like first multifamily.
Yeah.
I think he was he like 32?
Yeah, and dude, he wasn't like quote rich until way later.
Yeah,
40s and 50s.
I mean, I think in 08, he was technically like, he basically lost everything again. I mean, 12 years ago, right? I mean, in a nutshell. So in 12 years time, I mean, he went from,
and he's a big deal. I mean, he's a good dude. Gives me a lot of insight. Yeah,
phenomenal.
I love
So
it.
we'll wrap it up.
Let's do this though, Mr. Zaback.
Yeah,
let's give him some heat there. Let's bring it back. Let's
One-
bring it back to the Morton stage, baby. We got 45,000 people. This is a Dome Arena. We're getting fired up or fire
like
yourself. You know what I mean? We got 3 minutes. And I mean, this is a drill. I don't even know how many seconds and 3 minutes is here, but Alex Morton's going to change your life here, ladies and gentlemen. So if you guys have stayed tuned to this entire episode here, we went a little longer, but we figured we would probably go a little bit longer here. But Mr. Morton's got somewhere to go, but he's going to give you 3 minutes of just absolute heat that's going to change your life, change your paradigm, change your results, and ultimately change your bank account, ladies and gentlemen.
That one thing, man. That one thing.
Give it to us, baby. I'm feeling it right now, Mr. Morton.
The thing you said 1,000 times.
Yep.
Man. It could be anything. It could be anything, bro. You're up there.
I mean, my biggest message is like, people really got to decide
Okay.
who they're going to be, what they want, and they got to get it on paper. I tell people listening, you have to build it in the fantasy first, because everything in this room, right, it starts in the mind.
Yep.
Everything in the world starts in somebody's mind. So you have to really figure out exactly what you want in the fantasy world and get super descriptive. Like, I want this car with this exterior color, this colored rim, like the Cullinan I'm building right now that's going to be here next week. I built that thing, like every single little thing, right? The stitches, the detail, everything, the house you're going to live in, the clothes in your closet. I mean, this stuff people say, oh, it's hocus pocus, it's woo woo, whatever it is. That's the deal. Like at 16, I built the image in my mind of who I wanted to be, where I wanted to be, the amount of money, the amount of impact, the amount of success. So then you take it from the fantasy world and then you get it on paper, right? You have to write it down in the present tense, right? I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a $100 million real estate dude, or I'm this, I'm that. And then you got to go out there and do the work. And the biggest thing people can do is you got to find somebody that already has exactly what you want.
Yeah.
It's all I've ever done. People say, Alex Morton this, Alex Morton that. Listen, dude, I've studied like five people. I've done exactly what it is they did. They show me how to do to get the same result, except I amplified the work ethic. I amplified the tenacity. I amplified the conviction. You have to have rhino skin. You can't worry about what anybody thinks about you, right? If someone hates on you, right? It's just the whole having angers towards everyone reaching success. It's all a bunch of bullshit, right? You'll never see, nobody rich hates on people. Yeah. You don't see these people walk around picking on people, dude. Never. So you just got to stay focused, stay tunnel vision, get clear on what you want, and it all comes down to making that decision. I think desire and decision are so important. You have to have a burning desire for success, and you have to decide, and then cut all plan Bs. Cut all safety nets, dude. And just when you're on your journey, if you got to wake up early, wake up early. You got to stay up late, stay up late. If you have to end a toxic relationship, end a toxic relationship, okay? And you just got to keep going, man. Like, I've been doing this for 10 years, man. Too. God willing, it's going to be another 10 in the same company.
Keep it simple.
And just keep going, man. Just work your ass off.
I love it. Dude, I love it. That's it, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we really appreciate you being here, brother.
Yes.
It means a lot
Alex
to us
Morton,
that you made time to come by here. Guys, if you haven't already followed Alex Morton, it's Alex Morton Mindset on Instagram, on YouTube, I believe, also.
And on Facebook.
So, we'll link all this information down below. Go check that out. If you haven't already, make sure you like the show, subscribe.
Subscribe, and wow.
Let's go.
Nothing more to say after
Let's
that.
rock and roll.
Go get to work. Go get to work,
baby.
We'll see you guys
in the next
shows.
one.